Let's take a look at Tuesday. We've got 9 games on, the most games of any day during this week, but we can still stream on a 9-game day. So Michael Bolton, open up the faucet.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy, your daily NBA fantasy podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd and Chalamet. I'm also the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com, and you can find me on Blue Sky at joshloyd.bsky.social, on Twitter at redrock_bball, on TikTok at redrock_bball, and on Instagram at Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Thank you for making Locked On Fantasy Basketball your first listen every day. We are free and we're available to double bang on all platforms, so do it. Listen on the audio, watch the video, thumb it up, and leave your comments. Also, check out lockedondaily.com. That is the best place to find a newsletter for your favorite team. In fact, it's the best newsletter for your favorite team, delivered all the info free into your inbox 5 days a week. We're here, like I said, to look ahead to Tuesday. It is National Grammar Day, so do whatever you want to do. You can just think about all the good stuff and pretty solid, interesting informations and things like that for the games on Tuesday. Let's dig in. Let's figure out what we want to talk about. We start by having a bit of a brief look at where the schedule lies and the things that are going to impact us. The teams coming into Tuesday on a back-to-back, so they're playing Monday. They're moving into Tuesday on a back-to-back. Atlanta, Golden State, Houston, and Philadelphia. Obviously, the big ones are going to be in Philadelphia with Paul George. Kelly Oubre is already ruled out on Monday. George is still questionable on Monday. For the Rockets, it's everybody. VanVleet is out on Monday. Everyone else of note is questionable. So you would think that they're going to make this back-to-back an opportunity to rest. Whether they all do it on Monday or not, I don't know. But if they don't, they're going to sit on Tuesday. The Hawks, I think, were okay in terms of back-to-back resting stuff. In Golden State, well, Jimmy Butler and Steph and Draymond, they're old, they're busted, and at some point there are going to be those concerns. So we just keep an eye on that in terms of where they sit. In terms of outgoing back-to-backs, so Tuesday into Wednesday, Cleveland, the Clippers, the Bucks, and the Wolves. And there are important ones there. The Cavs, they rested Donovan Mitchell last game. They got some easy games coming up. Do they sit anybody? They could, easily. The Clippers, Kawhi, Ben Simmons. Who's sitting on Tuesday? Who's sitting on Wednesday? The Bucks. Giannis is probable. Kuzma is doubtful. But does Giannis or Dame sit on Wednesday? Maybe. Don't know, but maybe. And then the Timberwolves with the Julius Randle return from injury. Does he play both of them? DiVincenzo's already played through a back-to-back, so we're good there. And then we don't know about Gobert, of course, in terms of where that sits. If we're looking at chunky stuff, the next 5 days, who plays 3 games over those 5 days, that is Tuesday through to Friday. Is it right? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? No, Saturday. Tuesday through to Saturday. Kris Dunn, Jackson Hayes, Caris LeVert, Karl-Anthony, Matas Buzelis, and the milkman himself, Ty Jerome, are all guys who are under 30% rostered on Yahoo, who have got 3 games in 5 nights. Some of those guys, Dunn and probably Jerome, just maybe you want to hold on to them anyway. But if you want to get a 3-game, 5-night period, those guys can do that for you. Let's look at some key injury statuses. We've talked about a few of these already. It's the Rockets is the main one because Brooks, Şengün, Smith, Eason, Thompson. Now, Eason's definitely not playing both. VanVleet, I don't know, but there's just a million Rockets ones that we need to watch. Karl-Anthony Towns popped up as questionable for Tuesday for personal reasons, so not his knee. So just keep an eye on that one. If he is out, Mitchell Robinson won't play 30 minutes. He can't play 30 minutes. So Precious Achiuwa will get dusted back off into the rotation. The Bulls. The report from the Bulls was that the soft target return date was the Florida road trip for Nikola Vucevic. So that's Thursday, and then it's Saturday, Orlando, Miami. Maybe a different order, but it's those 2 games. So meaning that Vuce won't play on Tuesday. And then Lonzo, Josh Giddey, and Fantapan's Kevin Huerter are all questionable for Tuesday. Huerter doesn't sound like he will play. Lonzo is an aggravation of the wrist injury from much, much earlier in the season, and Giddey with a quad issue. So again, the Bulls are popping a lot of guys on the injury report at the moment. So I don't know that they still don't know how to fully tank, but maybe they're just they're like it's someone just who doesn't know how to do something, just trying something. You go, oh, that's sweet, but you actually don't know what you're doing. In fact, some might say like bless your heart because what are you doing? But I think they might be just dipping the toe in. Might be just dipping it in. We're going to watch on Paul George in Philadelphia. I reckon we also need to watch on Tyrese Maxey and Gershon Yabusele on their statuses for Tuesday's game. Kelly Oubre obviously is out on Monday, so we watch him. Rudy Gobert, maybe he's able to return, maybe he's not, but it's the first of a back-to-back for the Wolves. So I wouldn't expect that Gobert plays on Tuesday. Steph Castle popped up with a thumb issue, I think it is, on the injury report. So, yeah, okay. He'd obviously been playing 1 million minutes with 1 million shots. If he happens to be out, and I think this is going to happen at some point end of season. I think you're going to get a renaissance 1 week run of like Malachi Branham. Remember that bloke? Blake Wesley. Guys who've just played like 0 minutes. But I reckon and if Castle is out, Branham will have to step into that role. And then Kawhi and Ben Simmons, who again, they're not playing on Tuesday and Wednesday, but I just don't know which one they're sitting or which one they're not. It's Phoenix Tuesday, and I think it's Detroit Wednesday. So I would guess that if they're sitting, it is on Tuesday. And at the moment, I'm projecting it out that Leonard is not there on Tuesday. And then Austin Reeves, I don't think will play, but we haven't got an official update on that with the calf injury. That's definitely not an injury. There's no muscle issues, no bone issue. There's nothing wrong at all. He's just missed 4 days so far. But he's fine. Everything's clean, and there's no injury to any part of his leg at all. But we'll see whether he's available to go or not, because we don't know that at this point. All right, we're going to get into talking Points League streamers. Today's episode, though, is brought to you by the big fellas over at DoorDash. NBA fans, you can get ready. Is today, Monday, is today a day where someone drops 50 points? Because if there is, well, you would save thanks to Dash Pass, because every time a player drops 50 or more points in a game, you score a huge deal the next day. When any player scores 50 in an NBA regular season game in the 24-25 season, well, Dash Pass members get 50% off an order up to $10 off the next day from noon through to midnight. You know all the different selections in your local area that you can get through Dash Pass and DoorDash. Asian, Vietnamese, Thai, Chinese, Japanese, Italian, Mexican, Spanish. What other sort of Cuban? What other cuisines? Sandwiches, soups, dips. I'm missing one. I feel like Italian. There's another one. Pizza, burgers, good old-fashioned barbecue. Maybe you can get that. Whatever it is, it's all there on DoorDash. So sign up for Dash Pass and be ready to save. When any player scores 50 or more in a game, Dash Pass members get 50% off an order the next day, up to $10 off. Just use the promo code NBA50 from noon to midnight after a 50-point game on eligible orders of participating merchants. You must have an active Dash Pass account. Terms apply. Visit DoorDash to learn more. Okay, let's now get into talking about some streaming options, starting with Points Leagues, Yahoo Points Leagues, and ESPN Points Leagues. Again, we have to use certain cutoffs, so it's 30% and 10% and 20%, different numbers there and different names for different league sizes. Caris LeVert looks to be in a pretty solid spot there in Atlanta, but hey, he has had injury problems in the past. We know that. So just don't be surprised if he gets a random day off. I think he'll be fine, but you never know. Kris Dunn, who's in a really good spot with my estimation that Norman Powell is out. Kelly Olynyk should be getting those 25 to 26 minutes in New Orleans. Now, he won't have the good fortune of playing against the Utah Jazz again, but that doesn't mean that he can't put up solid enough numbers. You got Matas Buzelis. There's no Vooch. There might be no Giddey. There might be no Herter. And there might be no Ball. So that just gives an extra 2-3 minutes. There's no Patrick Williams either. Extra 2 to 3 minutes, extra 2 shots maybe. Enough to get him interesting, enough to stream in. And then we get to deeper league stuff. Because Kyle Kuzma is out in Milwaukee, the artist formerly known as the amino acid legend Taurean Prince is an option too. And you're going to see Prince's name mentioned quite a bit during this show. And then with the Raptors having their dick out, that means Jacoby Walter, Gary Trent III, he has an opportunity to start and play 31 minutes. And I guess we hope he scores more than 10 fantasy points. He's like a guy that's rostered in like 1% of leagues. So he's available everywhere. And he's a 30-minute player. I am not suggesting that Jacoby Walter's a 12-team ad, because he's not. Is he even a 14-team stream? Very debatable. But in anything probably 16 and deeper, you're absolutely, like, if you can get a 30-minute night starter who could have a hot night where he shoots 60%, gets a lot of shots, and they all bang in, well, yeah, that's a great option. Because it's all about, hey, where is the opportunity? And the opportunity, is located inside Jacoby Walter. Sounds sus. Anyway, ESPN points. A lot of the same names there because, again, points leagues, the format and the formula is slightly different. It's not that different, though. So, Caris LeVert, Kris Dunn, Jackson Hazy Hayes, and that's one that does get a big a big boost in the ESPN point scoring system. Milk Jerome is there. You can throw Milk into the Yahoo one as well very easily. Taurean Prince and big boom AJ Green with Pat Connaughton out, with Bobby Portis out, with Kyle Kuzma doubtful. Just extra shot attempts through those bench units as well. And big boom AJ, he's always going to have at least a safe enough floor for minutes, but it could go even higher. And he's one of those guys that can pop off given opportunities that Glenn Rivers does seem to enjoy giving him at certain times. So that's our points league streaming for Yahoo and for ESPN. If we look at category leagues, we're still doing a not broad stream, but again, marginally narrowed. Double categories. So points and threes. Who's our good streamers across different roster percentage numbers? We're going to start with Big Boom AJ Green. Because again, there are opportunities here. You are going to have situation here where there is no Pat Connaughton, no Bobby Portis, and no Kyle Kuzma. So AJ could play 30 minutes. He could play 25 minutes. He could have 15 points with 5 threes. It's pretty good. It's not that easy to find that stuff. Threes are easy, but again, opportunity. Bogdanovic. I don't know whether Bogdan will start, but what I do expect is that Norman Powell is out, Derek Jones is out, and Kawhi Leonard is out. There's a lot of assumptions there, but Jones is dealing with a groin strain. Powell with hamstring soreness. I wonder how long until that gets upgraded to a strain, but he's out with hamstring soreness, and it's the first of a back-to-back, and one's against Phoenix, the worst team in the NBA. Not really, but yeah. And then the next game is against Detroit. So if they're going to play Kawhi, you play him against the better team. But we'll find out. So I don't know about that, but Bogdan's there. We've got another Milwaukee guy with Gary Trent Jr., who has been playing much better. He's hard to rely upon, but these are the scenarios when these guys are out that you feel a little bit more comfortable because you go, okay, who else are they going with? Yeah, it could be Kevin Porter. Yeah, it could be recently converted Ryan Rollins, but it's probably not. It's probably Gaz. Caris LeVert, he's on this list for me. Zach Ricochet, he's on the list as well. There's a few guys that I would have had on here, like Kevin Huerter, like Lonzo Ball maybe, like George Niang, if we knew they were going to play, but I don't, so I'm not putting them there. And then the other one is the artist, formerly known as Torian Prince, another deeper league one, much like Big Boom AJ, where you can look at him in many, many different leagues, and the opportunity rises significantly on Tuesday, and he's just not really rostered anywhere, which, again, makes sense given that it is Torian Prince. If we move across now and look at assists and steals streaming, Kris Dunn has to be one of the better options just as a general stream guy anyway. Not only is he playing very well, but there is a chance that there are multiple rotation players out on Tuesday, which we just talked about. Jose Alvarado has been very disappointing of late, and they are prioritizing nearly every guard in the organization over him. Jordan Hawkins, CJ McCollum, Bruce Brown. They just don't use Jose now. He's playing like 22 or 23 minutes. And yeah, his last game was dreadful. But it's not like out of the question that he plays 24. He gets 5 assists with 2 steals in 22, 24 minutes. So we're not expecting, he's moved from a guy that, hey, he probably should be rostered everywhere because DeJounte's out and theoretically we would have expected he started, and he did, and then he's been benched again. But limited minutes available for a stream here. Worthwhile. Andy Nembhard. Ben Mathurin, I wasn't sure whether he was going to play, but he is now doubtful, so he's not going to play. So that boosts Nembhard and Nesmith. Karl-Anthony with Jalen Suggs out. He's a good option here as well. Gabe Vincent with my assumption that Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura are both out. So Vincent's not going to be a huge value player, but he can generate a steal or 2. He can generate 4 assists. And the other one there is Jared Vanderbilt. Now that is largely on the back of his steal prowess, but he played pretty good minutes last game. And he's not a terrible passer. You don't have 7 assist upside or anything with Vando, but 4 assists, 3 steals, sure, absolutely. And he's like rostered nowhere, which again, rightfully so. He shouldn't be, but we always have to take advantage of this. Here's a little interesting move that maybe just gives me a little kick in the ass, just in that little stat that I need, or that little grouping of numbers that I need that is going to be widely available. Deeper leagues, but leagues. Today's episode is also brought to you by OpenPhone. When you're running a small business, you're wearing a lot of hypothetical hats. And if you're in a hat business, maybe you're actually just wearing a lot of real hats as well. Your personal phone, it turns into your business phone. Worlds collide. You don't want that, do you? Friendship George, relationship George, business phone, personal phone, all coming together. You're juggling these calls all day, and OpenPhone comes in here and helps. It's the #1 business phone system designed to help your work and personal life and keep them separate. For just $15 a month, You get complete transparency and visibility into everything that's happening with your business phone number. OpenPhone works through an app on your phone or on your computer and integrates with tools like HubSpot or hundreds of others. It uses AI-powered call transcripts and summaries, so you get a rundown of everything in those calls, the action items that you need the second that you hang up. And if you don't happen to get a call, well, it can send out an automated message directly to your customer, so you never miss that opportunity to engage. Right now, OpenPhone is offering 20% off your first 6 months when you go to openphone.com/LockedOnNBA. That is openphone.com/LockedOnNBA for 20% off for 6 months. Openphone.com/LockedOnNBA. If you have existing numbers with other services, OpenPhone will port them over at no extra charge. All right, so let's just wrap up this streaming show now with some big man numbers, boards and blocks. Who can we look at to help us there? Now, Zach Collins does not qualify for the cutoffs that I use. He's rostered in like 70 or 80% of leagues on Basketball Monster. Too high. Everyone's grabbed him. I would say there's a 10% chance of this, but I still think there's a chance. Watch for a even minute split with him and Smith. Just watch it. Jackson Hayes is a pretty good option here for boards and blocks. If he's not given boards and blocks, what the hell else is he doing? Bismack Biyombo has been absolutely horrible. Like, he has not done anything. He had 2 double-doubles, and then he's had like 3 rebounds in every other game. But there's always a chance. There's always, like, maybe he has a 6-rebound game. Maybe he gets 2 blocks. There's no other centers there. They just go with Sohan, but maybe. Matas Buzelis and Goga Badadze, even though Goga has been a drop, and he is a drop, when you're looking at streaming in big man numbers, you just got to consider him because he's available. Jalen Smith is there as well. He had pretty good numbers in only 17 minutes last game. We're not rostering him in 12s, but we're keeping an eye on it. He is streamable in those deeper formats, and so is Karlo Makovic also, who is not a 12-team league guy. He would be if they started him and played him 28 minutes, but they're not, so he isn't. And now we just use him as a deeper league stream guy. If we're looking at percentages, 3 field goal percentage guys, Jackson Hayes, Goga Badadze, Bismack Biyombo. They're not going to have huge influences because they're not big volume guys, but they're good enough to help keep that number high or at least keep it afloat. And then for free throw percentage, Amir Coffey I like. He's a good free throw percentage guy. And again, could Jones, Powell, Simmons, Leonard all be out in the one game? Yeah, they could. They might not be, but they could. So Coffey should get extra run. So Bogdan Bogdanovic is also on that list. And then Aaron Nesmith. No Ben Mathurin. He's an excellent free throw shooter. He doesn't get to the line a huge amount, but you might get a 2 of 2. You might get a 3 of 3 if you're lucky. And that's just a nice little boost for that category at that point. Now, we gave the stream plan yesterday for leagues. You're trying to work out the best way to do it. And the best way to do it again this week is using a 1-slot stream. You turn a 3-game team into 7 games. It's a +4. That's very hard to beat. A 2-slot stream doesn't really work. The only way a 2-slot stream might really work is if you had a Washington Wizards player on your roster that wasn't Jordan Poole, and it was Keyshawn George, Bub Carrington, Chris Middleton, Marcus Smart, Rashawn Holmes, Alex Sarr, and you play them on Monday, and then you drop them. And then if you do have that particular scenario, again, it's a very specific scenario, but if you have that particular scenario, this is the way that, I'm going to be tracking this. This is the way that I would track that particular slot. I would get that, well, Bilal as well. I would have those players, and I'm going to use Bilal as my placeholder name in there, the one that I take his Monday game, and then I take him out of the thing, and we see how everything looks. So Bilal, and then I move into Kris Dunn, where between Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, they've got 3 games in 4 nights. So I get the 1 game on Monday, I get 3 games, and then I hit a weekend back-to-back to boost the games up. So hopefully in that 2-slot stream with the Wizard at the start, I'm able to get 11 games in, versus the 6 I would have got from holding 2 3-game players. Yes? So that's the one I'm looking for. So Dunn will be my guy. The other 2 you can look at there also are Bogdan Bogdanovic and then Max Strus or DeAndre Hunter or Ty Jerome or DeAndre Hunter fit my roster percentage criterias for these things, then I would have them as the top option, but they don't, so they're not there. But Strus and Bogdanovic and Dunn are the 3 guys that I'm going to track into that particular position. And that is the end of this show. Just a quick little streamer. National Grammar Day. 9 games. Giving the little targets, the ideas, the injuries, the things we're paying attention to. And just keep an eye on it. We're tracking streaming. We're paying attention in the playoffs. We're making sure we are, at times, ruthless and getting in the right players at the right times. Hit the subscribe on this show, audio and video. Leave your comments, and then you'll never miss anything. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.